Well, welcome to Sex Talk with Kathleen Sawyer. I think this might be our 7th edition. I think I've been coming before you for about a month and a half now. What a privilege, what an honor to sit and talk with you about A to Z with the things going on in our life. I appreciate those who have emailed me, sent questions, have feedback for me. I thank you for your feedback. I really appreciate it. Someone had emailed me and said, the words in the music are distracting and I can't hear your voice. I think an instrumental would be better. No problem. Fixed. So let me know if there's questions or things that are a distraction or that would be better. I'm not here for me. God has asked me to sit with you all as we walk through this journey. So here we go. I've got a lot of questions today and I will go through them as quickly as possible. My first question is, what do I tell my son about masturbation based on godly principles? Well, you know, I was really blessed because when I was speaking this year, I had a woman share with me a wonderful selection of books. So I got them. So I'll let you see them. And it starts with she suggested this one, which has a lot of good pieces in it. Also, the series I went ahead and got starts with ages 3 to 5, 5 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 to 16. The thing I did read though, because I read them all, I think it's the 5 to 8 or the next one. There were some things that I didn't quite agree with. So if you get them, when I go to the grocery store, I don't take everything off the shelf. I take what I need. And so I feel that way the same with man's writings. I take the Bible 100% because that is God-breathed, but all the books, including the children's book that I wrote, that's all by me, a human being. So if you read these books or get these books, you read them first before you read them to your children, and there might be parts that you leave out. Because I think there was one that was introducing a subject that seemed a little too young to me. So when reading it, but the rest of them were really spot on. So if it's something that you want to sit and talk to your son about masturbation in a godly way, those books will really guide you. So that piece is important. Here's one. How do you recommend overcoming anxiety regarding a pregnancy for someone who is post-abortion? I think that I was super blessed with a couple gals to lead a group called HEART, Healing and Encouragement for Abortion-Related Trauma. And the abortion in my own life, I didn't believe in abortion. I had a child at a very young age, but the person I was with, the man, said, you know, I don't want you to, people to say that you trapped me, so I don't think that's a good idea. And I was young and stupid, and I went along with it. Well, for 19 years, it was hell for me inside my head because Satan used that. So went to a post-abortive group. Back in the day, it was called Post-Abortion Counseling and Education. Really was healed by that, and then began to lead the groups for 30 years, which was such a blessing. I got to tell you, if you have an abortion, have had an abortion and it's just Satan's using it to mess with you, give me a buzz or email me, and I can give you some places to go to find some healing for that. It was an incredible 30 years of walking beside women that were from A to Z. One woman in the group, we tell our stories, and about 4 weeks in, she wanted to see us privately, and she said, I don't think I should do the group. And we said, why is that? She goes, because I can't tell the truth. And I said, what's your truth? And she said, I've had 6 abortions, and I can't say that out loud. I said, well, you just told us out loud. And there's no judgment. There's no measuring stick to sin. 1 abortion, 10 abortions. So my prayer will be that our next group, you'll be able to share it. And she did. So that piece was really cool. It was many years of just me growing and me getting blessed. So one group, we do a where we see the ladies before the group. And so the night of the group, we hear the 2 ladies in the hallway, oh my gosh. I'm like, oh shoot, what happened? I walk out there, and lo and behold, they were best friends for 10 years and never shared that they had an abortion because they didn't think the other one could handle it and they would reject him as a friend. And there they were that night with God's divine appointment, and they did the group together. Could make me cry because they walked the journey together. It was incredible. So I just invite you, if that's something in your past, or if Satan's using one of your past things to mess with you, come to the Lord with it. Put it at the foot of the cross and just ask for whatever help you need and move through it. So I just really encourage you with that. Which Christian authors do you like? The subject of sex. You know, I trust the Bible. And once again, all the sex books out there that are out there. I have a CD, Woman to Woman, that is about sexuality in our life and what we're doing. And it's all man. It was my words. God has the words in Scripture about our sexuality. So I would really encourage you to look through Scripture. And if you have specific questions on sex, send them in and we'll talk about them. I haven't had an orgasm during the 6 years of having sex with my husband. Why can't I only achieve it through masturbation? You know, I went to the Lord and I said, Lord, I love my Lord so much because he knows me. I said, Father, why'd you put the clitoris on the outside of the vagina? And because that's the part that's stimulated to orgasm. He didn't put it on the inside of the vagina. And in this sweetness, and I know you might think that's crazy, but you can talk to God about anything. And what I heard in studying his word was that if he would have put it on the inside, there wouldn't be foreplay. So because it's on the outside, there's a time of loving and touching and kissing and a build up to making love. And so I think that's important, that God knew exactly what he was doing. And I think that that's probably why a lot of couples he will hand masturbate her and then they will have sex, because then there's sort of a different orgasm for her after she's orgasmed once with the clitoris, or clitoris, however you say it, tomato. So in that space, to be able to experiment with what works best for you as husband and wife and talk about it. You know, how do we want that to look in our relationship? The reason that you can't is because the clitoris is the stimulation to orgasm. Some people can orgasm with the vaginal, with sex, because of the way that his penis has been, and it can hit an erroneous zone near the bladder, there can be an orgasm there. So not often, once in a great while, I do see that. I think in one of my earlier things, I explained to a lady that chatted about wanting to do that. I'd like to end with a fun story. I happened to see a couple in their late 80s. She wanted to continue having sex, and it was just something he didn't really think about. So she said, I was talking to a bunch of my ladies. You know, Gertrude, who's 90, was telling me that my vagina will close up if we don't use it. And I just looked at her and I said, oh, bless you, sweetie. It's not going to close up if you don't use it, but let's get your honey in and let's talk about how this can look different. So her honey came in at 86 or 87, and he was so sweet, you guys. He goes, you know what? I've never talked to anybody about my penis before, but okay, my honey wants to still have sex and I just don't really think about it. I said, well, how do you take care of your car? Oh, once a week, I fill it up with gas, I wash it, I make sure it's full and in good shape. I said, well, I want you to do that with your wife. Don't tell her that you're comparing it to taking care of the car, but once a week, I'd like you to take care of your wife. She would love to connect with you, and that might help remind you. He goes, you know what? Wash the car, be with my wife. That just might work. That'll help me remember. And I'll tell you what, here's this couple that's now in their early 90s, and they are a hoot. So you know what? God is the author of our sexuality, and it's something that he's given us as a gift to bless us in a healthy way. So I thank you for this time today. I appreciate your questions, your emails, all that you're doing. My prayers are for all of you who are out there are listening. I do appreciate you. I would love your feedback in any way, bad or good, because it will help me to better serve you. So this is Kathleen Sawyer with Sex Talk. Take care.